But I don't know. I think sometimes you can meet the right person at the wrong time. And so you can explore that. But what do you think? B, do you double back? If someone were to pursue you, an old friend from years ago, would you be open to that conversation, Jazz or Sean? Sean, me and you talk about this all the time. I don't think you have to take it like seriously just because you go on a date or have a conversation. Like, I don't think it has to be like you're back in love or you're head over heels, but some things do deserve another conversation. But what do you guys think? She says that she remembers the chaos though, so there must have been a little bit of drama or there must have been something. So I'm saying, like, if that was the reason why you guys separated or broke up or went different ways, then yeah, I think you might want to let it go. But if you guys ended in a good space, then why not? If you're both single, I feel like that's not a bad thing. Oh yes, and I am 40. I'm 40. I'm an 80s baby, and you know black don't crack. And I'll be 41 on the 27th. So I'm literally about to be fresh in my 40s. So it's a good thing. I'm grateful. And it says it can, and it depends on the situation and the person, and is the sex work. That is the question. That is the question. That is definitely the question. That definitely matters. Situational. I think it's definitely situational. And then the other comment says, I haven't dated in 20 years because I'm with the same man. However, if he's someone I still care for, I'd hear him out. Same man for 20 years. That's respectable. Is that a word? I think so. So you agree with me, Jazz? I think it's the same thing to figure out, like, how did you guys end the situation? If it wasn't a traumatic type ending, like, why not? Why not go for it? But Miss Teresa, hey, Miss Teresa, happy Friday. I was wondering where you was, girl, because I love to hear from you. I love your thoughts. So from my experience and others I know, it doesn't seem to be a good idea. So that's where Keyshawn gets it from, because Keyshawn is the no double back queen. She says she doesn't double back on men. She doesn't double back on friendships. If it didn't work, then it just didn't work. And I can respect that. I can respect that too. And then Bianca says, respectfully, I would not mind holding a conversation. You never know what can come out of that conversation. People evolved, and I feel it's beautiful to be able to catch up with someone from your past. You never know the reasons why you are able to cross certain individuals. I say that too. And then also, like, it doesn't have to be head over heels in love. Like, he might just need to hear from you for a second, or he might need to share something with you, or he has something on his mind. You just never know. I wouldn't take it where, like, oh, he's reaching out, so I got to fall back in love, or I got to do this, or whatever the case may be. It would be like, yo, let's do this and move through, or whatever the case may be. So I think just being open to that, but also having your boundaries, and a different expectation. Like, what are you going in there for? Like, what do you want from the conversation? Are you trying to explore something different like that, or what does it look like? So I think that's important to kind of understand. Just because he's your ex, and he might not even be off that, he might be trying to talk about something totally different. So I think that's important too, to kind of think about all of those things for sure. But Miss Teresa, why would you say that it isn't a good idea? Like, why are you opposed to going back to people that you've dealt with before? Yep. That's what I say. Ask bluntly. Like, why do you want to connect? What's up? What are we doing this for? What is this conversation about? Like, I think that's important to connect for sure. I don't know. Sorry, I was reading the comments too. So, if he was stretching me out or not. Oh, Sean. So back to that whole, is it worth it? What if it is, right? So what if you get reconnected and that's the only thing that is beneficial? It's like, I don't even want to talk to him, but we could definitely get it cracking again. Like, is that something that you explore? And is it something that you just put out in the front? Like, this is, if we're talking again, then this is what it is. Or is it like, nah, I remember the drama behind all of that, so let me not open that window, open that door. I don't know. I'm waiting to hear your thoughts in the comments. Because I say do it. Go out, try it, see. You don't gotta marry him just because he said he wants to see you again. We grow and learn. I personally have had different growth and different seasons. So with that came different caliber of a man. Agreed. But so does that mean you can't be friends? You guys can't just be cordial and or is it just like, nah, we're not even nothing? And that's another question too. Like, can you be friends with your ex? Like, can you have that relationship where it's like, all right, well, it didn't work out, we weren't a good romantic relationship, but we could still be friends? And what if that's what he's reaching out for? Like, maybe he wants to apologize for the chaos that he brought, and maybe he just wants to be cordial or platonic. But is that possible? Can you be friends with your ex? B, could you be friends with your ex? Sean, I already know you could be friends with your ex because you're cool like that. But we have those kind of conversations too. I'm actually cool with all of my exes, to be honest. But I haven't had like a lot of real long relationships. But like the people that I've dealt with, we're still cool, but simply because like we didn't end on bad terms. It was just agreed to walk away and be in different spaces. So that's why I'm saying, for me, if an ex reached out, it wouldn't be an issue to go sit and shoot the shit, because I never ended on like really dramatic terms with anybody I dealt with in that space. Sean says, sometimes I will explore the option. You just can't get emotionally attached sometimes. You got to be one and done, or make, like you said, make it clear. Exactly. Emotions, intentions, boundaries, clear understanding of why y'all are even meeting and what you want from it and what he wants from it. Especially if you've grown. Yes, Jazz. Like, I feel like growth is important. And I think when you grow, it allows you to be able to handle these kind of conversations in a different space, because you've grown. And if he no longer serves you, then he no longer serves you. So it's not hard for you to be in that space because you've grown, and it is what it is. B says that she could be friends with her ex. Mutual respect is all good. I'm actually hella cool with my exes. Before we became more than friends, our foundation was friendship. And I think that's what's dope, that I am able to always have friendships with individuals that were more than a friend at one point. As long as respect is mutual, I'm cool. Yep. Dope. Because that's how it is with my kids' dads. Like, that's why I think I'm so cool with being able to navigate spaces with my kids' dads, because minus one, because there's always one. But that's why it's cool to be able to navigate that space, because we were friends before we had kids or anything of that space. So when it didn't work out romantically or intimately, it's like, okay, we could just co-parent and we could just shoot the shit because we had that foundation first. So I think that's important. But what she said was that they had chaos, but she's curious. So if she's curious, that means like there's something still left that she wants to unfold and explore. And I know that saying where it says like curiosity killed the cat, but I like to play around a little bit. So I say, as long as you're able to navigate and you know what you're going into it for, that's important. But friendships and friendships being the foundations of relationships are essential. And when your friendships are the foundations of your relationships, that's what makes allowing seasons to change flow. Because when you understand, like, this person was here for this purpose, for this experience, and you honor them as a person, hell yeah, it hurts when you break up and when you go to different spaces, but at the same time, you're still able to honor that relationship, that friendship, and so it's not as bad. But like, that's grown people shit. You have to experience some stuff before you actually get to that point, because we was definitely breaking windows and busting tires in our 20s, so it hasn't always been that way, for sure. But B says, okay, Miss Teresa said that she tries to be cool with an ex, but he always finds a way to bring up sex. So a couple of your exes still be trying to get into your panties. I get that. We talked about that yesterday, how men are easy. You guys got to tighten it up a little bit. Just a little. Let's see here. Sometimes I will explore the option. I read that one. And then B says, if I was in her shoes and I was curious, there's a reason I'm curious. I would like to know instead of wonder. But then again, like I said, I would bluntly ask, what are the intentions? You just never know until you know. And I'm one of those people that I want to know. I don't want to know. Me too. Me too. No, it's good. I can follow. It's not too many typos. Okay, so Miss Teresa, you're now a life coach. You're a healthy Christian life coach, and you're healed now, right? So you said in the comments that your relationships came from a place of trauma, so you can't say that they were healthy because you weren't mentally or emotionally healthy. So now you're at a place where you are healthy. Are you strong enough, or would you be able to have the conversations with your ex or with one of your people that wasn't necessarily there before? Hey, LaDonna. Hey, happy Friday. So you said growth requires being cordial. I think you can be friends, but boundaries have to be set. I say, yeah, but hold on. I got to scoot over because there's a comment that I can't see, but I want to read it. It says, something is given. Oh, because I said men are easy. Yes. We talk about this, and it's both ways. And who commented that? FFT Water. Yes, men are easy. And again, I'm not saying women aren't either, but like, just like y'all feel like y'all can go on a date with a girl one time and get her naked, like we can too. And we don't necessarily want to get you naked every time we're with you either. So yes, I feel like men are easy. I do. And I think sometimes it's like in a defense to say, like, oh, well, I just wanted to fuck in the first place, or whatever the case may be. And that's cool too. But even that is still easy. Like, you don't have no standards as to who you're trying to fuck. You just whatever, whoever. Like, and you can't say that y'all won't hit a little bit of everything, because you will. And it's not a bad thing, because I understand attraction. I understand that sometimes sex can be seen as an activity. It's not necessarily an emotional exchange for men. I get all that. I understand all that. But I do also get that sometimes you niggas aren't picky at all. And so that's just all I'm saying. You don't agree, FFT Water? I would say I do agree with you. Pussy is giving. It definitely is. But that's always been that way. So that's not saying anything new. But I do think there used to be, I don't know, it just used to be different. So Miss Teresa says she's not going backwards. So not even for lunch? You won't even have conversation? You won't just see how they're doing or anything of that nature? LaDonna, do you double back? Are you doubling back? Are you, if somebody's reaching out to you like it's been years, I want to see how you're doing. Can we meet? This lady, she said she was curious, but she also remembers the chaos. So for me, I'm like, well, if there's some chaos, that means that something had to crack off to where it wasn't all good. But when we're younger, relationships be like that, right? Like we have moments, we have drama, trauma, whatever. But when we grow and we heal, we kind of are in a different space with that. So are you doubling back or no? Oh, FFT Water, did you say something back? Yep, Sean agrees. Exploring the option, but making sure your emotions aren't attached. So, we've had some good conversations. I love when you guys hop in the chat with me because this is what it's about. It's about all of us talking and engaging. And I will make sure that we are sharing the link a little bit earlier so that you have time to connect. And we are doing 5 o'clock. This works. We made it work. I told y'all 5 o'clock. We said 5 o'clock CPT time, and we made it work. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate you. I got it figured out. I like it too, but I think I made my swirl go the wrong way, but I'll figure it out. But thank you. Miss Teresa said, absolutely not. I don't give up. My boundaries, what I want to put up with, and what I expect has changed. But what if they've healed too? Like, what if they've healed and matured and grown too? I'm just going to keep pushing the envelope with you, because what if, especially in this space that you're in as a coach now, like, well, what if they've healed and changed too? Something to think about. And no, but if it's still toxic, I wouldn't want to go back to it either. I would stay right where I am, which is in the wind. I would definitely stay there. Oh, hey, Shanae, you're good. Because like I said, we just got it to where we're officially on time. So you're never too late. I appreciate it. And I'll tell you this last conversation because I actually do want to hear from you about this one, because we're talking about doubling back. Do you double back, Shanae? The question that we got from Tanisha, that was her name, I think, was her ex reached out to her after a couple of years, and he wanted to have a conversation with her. And she wants to know, should she go or should she not? She's a little curious, but she says she remembers the chaos. So I'm saying, for me, I say, why not entertain a dinner or a date or a conversation? Everybody, the consensus hasn't really been reached. Some people are saying circle back, because if you're healed and then you're in a better place, then having a conversation with someone else won't necessarily impact you, as long as you know your boundaries and your expectations. Miss Teresa, oh, Shanae, you're in the same boat as Miss Teresa. You're saying, hell no, like, don't even ask. You're not doubling back. You're not even with it. LaDonna is saying, let me just see, what did LaDonna say? She said, I have not doubled back. I may reach back out to see the space they are in, but as far as rekindling, probably not. No? Okay, so we could be friends. So that's what I was saying. So Shanae, could they even be friends? Could we be friends? And what if they healed? Or what if y'all didn't necessarily end on bad terms? It just wasn't the right time. Because I do believe in the idea of meeting a right person at the wrong time. So, but if it's dramatic, what I did say is, if y'all left off on some fuck shit and it was drama or trauma, then never, then no. Keep it moving, circle back. Don't circle back whatsoever. Miss Teresa says, if it was a relationship from God, it would never have broken up. He doesn't give and be like, oops, not now. I don't agree with that. And I could pull out scriptures to support that is not true. Because one of your homies in the Old Testament, he actually chased the hooker for a long time. And she was fucking on a whole lot of other niggas while being married to her husband. And while she was married to her husband, God told him, like, be cool. Like, it's cool. Let her do her work. Let her be a prostitute. But you're still going to love her. You're still 100% going to love her. And if that's not a broken relationship from God, I don't know what is. So I don't agree with that statement. Not even a little bit. It's timing. And that's also like, we get stuff all the time that we may not necessarily be ready for, and it circles back, or it comes back at a different time or a different season. So I don't know. And Winston says, if the D good, they always come back. Always. I think that's always. They always come back, Winston. That must be impressive. That. And I don't know. So they come back to be with you, or they just come back to fuck you? Because like I was saying earlier, niggas can be easy too. So like, if a girl is just coming back to get it cracking, I don't know if that's necessarily a compliment to you either. So think about that. Think about your confidence and your self-esteem too, because niggas can be easy as well. Yep, exactly. That's who I'm talking about, Gomer. And it's that's exactly who I'm talking about. And I could pull out a couple more examples from the Bible where it's broken relationships, and it's definitely God doing some things. But yes, timing is everything. Timing is definitely everything. Okay, so Shanae says she's good. You've never spent the block. You don't want no relationship. So, okay, Shanae, let's talk about this, because I be seeing your posts, right? And we be in the same boat about this whole dating situation. And so is it that you don't want a relationship, or is it that you feel what we're being presented with may not necessarily be what you want to have a relationship with? Because I feel like there is a desire there. I feel like there might be a desire, but it just may not be what we have left. But you say, if I left the relationship, there was no rekindling. My aunt has been married and divorced to the same man. What? Girl. So my 7 times, like they actually got went through the whole divorce process and got remarried 7 times. Somebody close to me did that twice. Like, I know somebody in my family who got married and divorced and married and divorced, and then years later they started dating again and it didn't work out again. So it was 3 times. Yeah, 3 times, but 7, that's crazy. And has there been like any intervention? Like, did y'all talk to her? Like, auntie, what are you thinking, or what? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I think it's that you want a relationship, just a healthy one. And if your exes weren't necessarily healthy, then I totally get not wanting to be with them. But what I was saying was, just because you go to lunch or to dinner or do a check-in with them doesn't mean you got to get back in bed with them unless you want to. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is. And he could be trying to be platonic or be cordial. So I don't know. That's crazy. Yes, Winston, that's what I said. 7 times. 7, that's completion, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. That's crazy. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not opposed to a conversation. I'm not opposed to just hearing out, being platonic. and having real expectations or boundaries and understanding of what this is or not. So yeah, so both of our conversations today were about boundaries and about really just having good relationships or being able to establish relationships. The first one was the mom who and the daughter, and being able to allow the daughter to live her life and understanding that as a mama. Oh, okay, Miss Teresa, actually, what do you think about this? And LaDonna too, because you got older kids, you have an older son. So we had a letter earlier where the girl is 28, she pays all her own bills, and she feels like her mom is being overbearing. Like she says, her mom just pops up at her house whenever she wants to and be trying to tell her who to date and who not to date. And she wants to kind of have her own freedom, but she doesn't know how to have that conversation with her mom. And so I said, like, as a person who's like, my relationship with my mom is estranged, I recognize now that, like, in some spaces, your mom is just going to be your mom. Like, my kids will never tell me that I can't come over or not to call them because I'm your mom. I'm going to show up. And so recognizing, like, that's how we express our love, but having a relationship with them to where you can have those conversations. So, Miss Teresa, do you pop up at your kids' house? Do you, or have they ever had to tell you, like, Mom, you're doing too much in terms of trying to orchestrate their life or anything of that nature? And Shanae, what is that going to look like for you with your son as he gets older? Are you going to do pop-ups? Are you going to invade space, like judge who they date? Because that was one thing she said too. She said that her mom judges who she dates. So I'm like, I probably won't judge, but I do have some very strict boundaries when it comes to dating for my kids. But we could talk about that another time. But I definitely have some rules and regulations. All right, Shanae says, time to take mom to a public place and set boundaries. Yes, that's what I said. It's going to be uncomfortable. She's going to talk her shit, but you got to let her know, like, Mom, I got this. But also understanding on the flip side, I was saying too that, like, even though 28 is like a mature age, like when you look back, 28 is still very young. And so still being open and receptive to wisdom from our elders, because that's important. But I do think, like, sometimes moms can cross the line, and we got to make sure we establish that. Oh, she had to put you in your place a few times, Miss Teresa. I see things she doesn't, or did at least, so I had to learn to shut up. Girl, my daughter has blocked me for an entire 6 months and refused to open the door for me when I popped up. So I probably am going to be you. Like, that's probably the type of mom I'll be. I'm popping up for sure. But we'll have conversations to where it won't be as awkward. But yeah, so I told her, talk to your mom, tell her how you feel, but also understand that a mom is going to be a mom. And a lot of times we don't want our kids to suffer from the same things we do. So we try to help you navigate the situations differently. But in the event that you don't want to listen, we just got to allow you to be and do what you do. Yeah. As a boy mom, Shanae says, as a boy mom, she makes it clear what she wants for his future. I'm also doing the work to be a strong woman so he knows what type of woman to attract. I know after doing all this parenting, he better not wind up with a hood rat or a greedy Becky. Yep. Sounds about right to me. I already told my son he can't bring a white girl home. I made that very clear. And you can feel however you feel about that, but no, none of those. So it's important. It's definitely important to set the standard, to set the tone for what your kids, what you expect for them. Yeah, you guys are cute. I like you guys' relationship, Miss Teresa. But it's important. So that was our first one. That was the first conversation, was about the girl and her boundaries. And then the second one, you guys hopped in where we're talking about circling back and can you be friends with your ex and all of those things. And so I said, Why no white? I love snow. Okay, so for me, I think legacy is important. I think understanding community, village. I think black is important. I think that there are some things that as a black man, a white woman can't necessarily relate or provide the support and the necessary love that you need. I think systematically, even if it's not intentional, white women can't relate to the struggle of a black man, even if they love them compassionately and want to do all of the things. There's a disconnect there. And wholeheartedly, because there is a level of systematic oppression, allow it. How do I put this in a way that doesn't sound crazy? But I don't know if if a black man will ever fully be accepted in that space. Like somewhere down the line, there's a racist uncle, auntie, cousin, brother, something. And so I just feel like it just isn't a healthy situation that I would want my son to walk into or to choose for himself if he doesn't have to. And black women are so beautiful, and we're not a monolith, and there's so many different shades and variations and backgrounds and dynamics. We're the most versatile creature that has ever been created. So I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't be able to find what he needs within what he's been created from. So that's why I say that. And but if you love to play with them, I mean, everybody has their own preference. Everybody does what they do. And I'm not opposed to what works for you. But what do they say at church? But as for me in my house, that's where we're at. So let's keep the conversations going. Let's keep it moving. Send in your thoughts, your questions, your scenarios to Dear Jassy at gmail.com. That's DEARJASSY twice. So DEARJASSY at gmail.com. Scenarios, questions, thoughts, or anything that I've said and you want me to elaborate on, or you're like, girl, you're tripping, or you said this and I feel that, or whatever the case may be, you can shoot it to the email address and we can chop it up on the next one. So yeah, Shanae said don't even play in the snow. I agree with that. Yeah, don't even. It's cold. Who likes to be cold? Nobody really. We all prefer the sun. We know what's better, what's best for us. So, if there's anything that you want to add, anything that you want to share or elaborate on, anything you want to chop it up about, send us an email, Dear Jassy at gmail.com. You can be anonymous or you can drop your name or however you want to do it, and we'll shoot the shit together. So thank you for joining me again this Friday. And I think this is like episode 3, so we're starting to get momentum, and we finalized the time, so you can guarantee that we'll be consistent 5 o'clock on Fridays, so that we can keep it flowing and moving. So I'll check you guys next week.